Hello everyone, I just wanted to throw up a quick example of how to solve a quadratic, and we've done all the parts at this point. So I've given you the following equation, y equals x squared minus 3x minus 18, and I've asked you to solve for a, the y-intercepts, the axis of symmetry, the location of the vertex, and the x-intercepts. So let's start with a. A is simple. Remember, the standard form of an equation is simply y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So the a is simply that value that's in front of the x, which in this case is 1. So the a value is 1. Now you can find that quickly, but it's useful for when we find other parts. The y-intercept occurs, and we've talked about this in class, when the x value is 0. Right? So if I were to quickly sketch this, right, would be something like this. Not the best sketch, but this point right here is when the x value, right? So this is all the negative x values. And this is the positive x values. Right in the middle is 0, right? So at that point, we want to know where the graph crosses. So the y-intercept is when x is 0. So in this case, this would be 0 and this would be 0. So the y value is simply the c value at the end, which would be this value. So the y-intercept equals 18. If I ask you for the coordinates of it, the coordinates are 0, 18. All right, those are pretty quick off of that. Axis of symmetry, though. We know the axis of symmetry divides these in half. And we know to find the axis of symmetry, I mean x and a y value. The x is easier to find first. X is equal to negative b over 2a. It's the easiest way to find it. So I want to know what that x value is for the axis of symmetry. So I'm going to take negative b, so negative of negative 3, and divide that by 2 times the a value, which we already stated was 1. So my axis of symmetry should be at 3 over 2. So the axis of symmetry is this right here. That's the x value. And it's a line that goes completely at 3 over 2. So axis of symmetry. Sometimes we simplify just axis of symmetry is x equal to 3 over 2. And that might not match this graph here. This is just an explanation. So I'm going to erase that one. So that's my axis of symmetry. I want to know the location of the vertex. Well, this is the x value of. So if I want to know the y value, I'm going to put it back in. Y equals x squared minus 3x. I know it's right there, but I'm going to rewrite it. Y equals, I'm going to put 3 over 2 in brackets, minus 3 times 3 over 2, minus 18. This is going to give me 9 over 4, minus 9 over 2. And I'm going to leave that like that for a second. I'm going to common denominator all this stuff. So that is 9 over 4, minus 18 over 4, minus 18, I want a common denominator, so that is going to be 72 over 4. And if I do that all out, it should give me a value of negative 81 divided by 4, which I'm going to change to also be negative 20.25. So we can check this on Desmos in a minute. So find the axis of symmetry. That axis of symmetry, take that value, put it back in for the x values. You can put in your calculator, let decimals work if you need to. It gives me this value. So location of the vertex is, and that's the location is coordinates. So 3 over 2, comma, negative 81 over 4. The last part is find the x-intercepts. So I'm just going to erase this for a second. If I want to find the x-intercepts, I need to find the factors, if it's possible. So you'll look at this. Can I find a common factor out of this? No, I can't find a common factor because there's a 1 there. So I look at this and I know I'm going to do product and sum. Look for the product of negative 18, and the sum is -3. So I'm going to go, and some people can just do this, click the fingers, they got it. Some people have to break it down. So I always do this. 1 and 18. I want to know what the factors are of this. 2 and 9. 4 doesn't go into it. Or sorry, 3 goes into it, gives me 3 and 6. 4 doesn't go in and 5 doesn't go in. So these are my multiples right here, or my factors, sorry. So then I look at it and go, this is a negative, and this is a negative. And from all sense, one must be negative. It always, the bigger one, whichever one, whatever this sign is the sign of the bigger one. So that would be -18, -9, -6. These ones then would all be positive because I want a negative product. Now I just add these together. 1 minus 18, -17. This one is -7, and this one is -3. So obviously, this is my solution for factoring. Again, if you don't need to do that, that's fine. So y equals x and x, and one would be +3, the other would be -6. So those are our factors. What two factors make this up? I want to know the x-intercepts. So in order to find the x-intercepts, y has to equal 0. So I'm just setting this equal to 0. 0 equals x plus 3 times x minus 6. And if either this part or this part is 0, then the whole thing will be 0. So I'm going to set x plus 3 equal to 0, and I'm going to set x minus 6 equal to 0. Solve for x. In this case, x equals -3, and x equals 6. So the x-intercepts are -3 and 6. I shouldn't put a comma because it makes it look like a coordinate. And 6, or if you want the coordinates, it would be -3, 0, and 6, 0. And I want to check those. I've gone to Desmos, and I've put the coordinates in. So that's the equation. Y equals that, and I've graphed it. And it says there's an x-intercept at -3 and 0, and another one at 6 and 0, which we just did. The y-intercept is right there at 0, -18. So 0 because I'm 0 left to right, and -18 because I'm down there. And my vertex is 1.5, which is 3/2. And -20 over 25, or -20.25 is -81 divided by 4. So that's how you solve one of these questions. You'll be expected to solve these. If you're not sure, watch the video, slow it down, pause it, speed it up, whatever you need to do. But that is work through one of these questions. Hope that helps. Thanks.